Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome. Oh, I forgot to record. I'm recording now. Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Before Coffee. It's Thursday. It's the Thursday news dump, though I think I actually have a lot of short stories here, so maybe not so much. Maybe tomorrow will be the news dump. And let's go ahead and cover what's going on. I have a lot of stories about stuff happening in Europe, and Raj has a lot of stuff happening all over the world. So let's go ahead and start our stories here. Okay. Today on Before Coffee. Nagorno-Karabakh ceasefire violated by Azerbaijan.
And we have a conflict between India and Canada on diplomats being expelled.
Diplomats? Oh god. Okay. King Charles to make historic speech in French Senate.
And we spin the Wheel of Fortune again as our list of Trump co-conspirators gets smaller and smaller.
Hollywood writers strike, fresh talks with studios raise hopes of the end to the WGA standoff.
We cover those stories and more on today on Get Ready Day, where I wasn't ready, but I'm ready now. It is September 21st, 2023 edition of Before Coffee.
Okay, let's go ahead and get ready for our first news story here. Coming out of, Azerbaijan. I don't remember when this conflict first started, but it was a while back that there's been some conflict in Azerbaijan. And we're going to talk about it. The ceasefire, this is from NOS. The ceasefire in Nagorno-Karabakh enclave has been violated by Azerbaijan, say the ethnic Armenian administrators in the area. In the morning, gunshots were heard in the capital Stepanakert. Sources say this to Reuters news agency. Azerbaijani Defense Ministry denies that its forces have violated the ceasefire. It happens at a time when negotiations between Azerbaijan and an Armenian delegation from Nagorno-Karabakh took place. It is not yet known what emerged from the conversations. The two sides met in Azerbaijan's city of Yevlax. A Russian mediator was also present, Russian media reports. Azerbaijani declared victory yesterday after authorities in the enclave surrendered. The ceasefire was declared with mediation of Russia, which is present in the area as a peacekeeping force. The agreement is that Armenian troops will withdraw and the Nagorno-Karabakh army will be disbanded. The Russian correspondent Iris de Graaf says Azerbaijani soldiers would try to place their flag in the center of the capital, so it seems that they want to take Stepanakert. It could be that the local Karabakh soldiers do not want to accept the ceasefire because they see that as a surrender to Azerbaijan and they are fierce about that. I received messages from contacts in Nagorno-Karabakh that they are trying to get away or are in shelters. Residents of the enclave feel left behind and are very concerned about ethnic cleansing and deportations. The big question is what will happen to the ethnic Armenian population of the area. About 120,000 Armenians live in the area. That's a lot of people. Azerbaijani President Aliyev said that the predominantly Christian population will be allowed to continue practicing their faith and that they will be given the right to vote in Azerbaijan. That would also have been discussed in the negotiations today. Armenians are concerned about the situation. There were protests in Yerevan last night. Protesters believe the government is abandoning the enclave. Prime Minister Pashinyan does not want to intervene military in the conflict, and Armenia is not participating in the negotiations. Armenians fear ethnic cleansing in the area. On Tuesday, Azerbaijan launched an attack against ethnic Armenian enclave and carried out airstrikes. At least 200 people have been killed. An Armenian human rights official says hundreds of people were also injured. So there might be an end to the conflict, but it might not be in the favor of the people in the enclave. Very important thing to worry about because there's already been ethnic cleansing in the area before, or for Armenians in general. So it's a fair fear to have, especially since, I mean, nobody seems to care about Russia about this conflict. They're the only ones that are there. So we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Hopefully nothing bad happens, but on to your next story.
Right on. We're going to be reading about, and I did send you the link for my next story. So if you did on Facebook Messenger, okay.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. I didn't know where else to send it. Okay. India. This is from the BBC World News and by Meryl Sebastian. India warns citizens in Canada to be cautious. India has urged citizens traveling to or living in Canada to exercise utmost caution. Advisory comes a day after tensions escalated between the countries, with each expelling a diplomat from the other side. Canada says we're investigating credible allegations linking the Indian state with the killing of a Sikh separatist leader. India strongly denied this, calling the allegations absurd. Analysts say relations between the countries, which have been strained for months, are now at an all-time low. On Wednesday, India's foreign minister said it issued an advisory in view of growing anti-India activities and politically condoned hate crimes and criminal violence in Canada. The Indian government has often reacted sharply to demands by Sikh separatists in Western countries for Khalistan, or a separate Sikh homeland. The Khalistan movement peaked in India in the 1980s with a violent insurgency centered on the Sikh-majority Punjab state. It was quelled by force and has little resonance in India now, but is still popular among some in the Sikh diaspora. Boy, that's a word.
That's a word that I know. Hey.
Diaspora. Yay, a word I never heard before. And countries such as Canada, Australia, and UK. Way to go, England. You threw a curve at me. Canada has the highest number of Sikhs outside Punjab and has seen several pro-Khalistan protests and demonstrations. In June, reports said India had raised a formal complaint with Canada about the safety of its diplomats there. In Wednesday's statement, Delhi said that some recent threats were directed at diplomats and some Indians who opposed the anti-India agenda. Weird wording there. India nationalists are therefore advised to avoid traveling to regions and potential venues in Canada that have seen such incidents. Trudeau said, "We are not looking to provoke India." Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on Monday that the intelligence agencies were investigating whether agents of the government in India were involved in the killing of Hardeep Singh Najjar, a Canadian citizen. India had designated him a terrorist in 2020. Najjar was shot dead in a vehicle by two masked gunmen outside a Sikh temple on 18 June in British Columbia. Any involvement of the foreign government in the killing of a Canadian citizen on Canadian soil is unacceptable violation of our sovereignty, Mr. Trudeau told the Canadian Parliament Monday. India reacted strongly, saying that Canada was trying to shift the focus from Khalistani terrorists and extremists who had been given shelter there. Some Indian media reports claim a statement from Delhi followed a similar Canadian advisory for its citizens traveling in India. Canada government confirmed its travel advice for India had been updated on Monday, but said it has as part of a pre-scheduled and routine maintenance on the section on travel health information. New risk information has been added to the India travel advice and advisory page, a spokesman told the BBC. Ottawa's advisory asked its citizens to exercise a high degree of caution because of the risk of attacks throughout India. So we got a little kerfuffle, and the Indians deny ordering the assassination of separatists living in Canada as a Canadian citizen. Kind of like the same thing Russia was accused of doing in England to one of their separatists a few years ago, where they poisoned the man and his daughter in a park in London.
Yeah.
And so they started expelling diplomats. It's a diplomatic kerfuffle between India and Canada, which basically we're closer to Canada than India, so Canada figures we got their back so they can talk Smith. So other than that, they really can. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, you got as many people as we got in New York, so your story.
Okay, yeah, I saw that story earlier. I was almost going to cover it.
Yeah. Well, Canada's supposed to be a peaceful nation. I support them not wanting assassinations in their country, but of course they're just going to be pointing fingers right now. It does seem like a state-sponsored terrorist attack.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Yeah.
But I don't have any evidence to go on. Your story, and then we'll do the wheel. Do you want to do the wheel now or after your story?
Let's do the wheel first.
Okay. Go ahead. You say something. I'll stop talking.
Well, I thought you wanted to introduce the wheel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about the story.
No.
I kept yapping over here. All right.
It's time for...
Ready?
Yeah.
The Squeal of Fortune. Many prizes. All right, who's gonna be squealing today or next week or in the future or maybe already has and we haven't heard.
All right, it's on screen. Hopefully on screen. Hello.
Okay, let's see. We got. Well, I don't have it, but you got it on screen.
Oh, maybe I don't have it on screen. There we go. I got it on screen. Okay, I'm spinning the wheel.
Oh, and I don't see it, but I'll take your word for it.
Tell you what it says.
All right.
We've got John C. Eastman.
All right, a big name this time. All right, your story.
All right. In my story, we're going to talk about how King Charles is making an historic speech in the French Senate. This is from Angelique Chrysophis in Paris on The Guardian. King Charles will address French lawmakers and senators in the upper house of the French Parliament on Thursday, the first time a British monarch has made a speech in a French voting chamber. On the second day of his state visit, the king is expected to use his speech at the Senate to once again urge stronger ties between France and Britain. At a lavish banquet at the Palace of Versailles on Wednesday night, he said in a toast that it was incumbent upon all to reinvigorate our friendships to ensure it is fit for the challenges of the 21st century. The king's 3-day visit to France is seen as the soft power follow-up to Rishi Sunak's drive to repair the badly damaged Paris-London relationship at a crucial Franco-British summit in March this year, which addressed issues such as the crisis of people risking their lives to cross the channel in small boats. It confirms a crucial reset of the British-French relationship after the near total collapse of its trust and the record levels of ill-feeling and resentment that the Boris Johnson years provided. The king's speech was expected to echo that of his mother, Elizabeth II, when she visited the Senate in 2004 and said, speaking in a conference hall rather than a voting chamber, "In a dangerous world, our two nations have so much to offer when we use our strengths together. Let's move on from our recent differences as our forebears did 100 years ago." The king will later travel north of Paris to Saint-Denis, home to the French national stadium used for the Rugby World Cup and the Olympics next year, where he is expected to see residents and sports personalities. At the Ile de Cité on Rivière Siena, Charles, a keen gardener who once admitted he talked to his plants, will tour a flower market that was named after his mother on her last state visit in 2014. From there, he will view renovations and reconstruction work on the nearby Notre Dame Cathedral, which was partially destroyed in a fire in 2019. Nearly 1,000 people are working to restore the cathedral, which dates back to the 12th century. After the fire, Charles sent an emotional message to Emmanuel Macron that he was utterly heartbroken, calling Notre Dame one of the greatest architectural achievements of Western civilization. On Thursday, Queen Camilla and Brigitte Macron will launch a new Franco-British Literary Prize, which will be awarded from 2024. The King and Queen will say goodbye to the President of Elise before heading to Bordeaux on Friday, where they will tour an organic vineyard and meet emergency workers and communities affected by the 2022 wildfires. I gotta say, in this picture of Charles, he looks like the servant. He's kind of skulking behind Macron. I don't know why, but maybe that was on purpose. right?
I wasn't elected.
Yeah, I wasn't
you know,
elected. I'm just here to speak on behalf of myself, really.
I only came out of the right birth canal. That's all I did.
Yeah.
I did nothing to earn this title. Oh, it's me. I'm in. Okay. Anyway. The
That's
poor
in my
royals.
story.
So misunderstood. Okay. John Eastman. We know that name. He was the guy that decided, hey, we don't need elections. In the Trump, actually a very prestigious guy in law school circles up until that moment. But John Eastman, this is about a week old, about John Eastman being disbarred in California. John Eastman, this is from the Los Angeles Times from September 11th. Staff writer Christopher Gopher. Intermittently since June, John Eastman has appeared in a downtown Los Angeles courtroom as lawyers for the California bar built a case that he's unfit to practice law. Eastman, the former dean of Chapman University's law school and advisor to former President Trump, is accused of ethics violations for peddling false claims that fraud cost Trump the presidency. Eastman maintains that he had a good faith basis to doubt the results of the 2020 election, which is a complete lie. The man Eastman called his first witness last week. The man Eastman called as his first witness last week, a former Wisconsin Supreme Court justice, has asserted the election was stolen, though his own turmoil-racked inquiry turned up no proof that fraud tilted the election in Joe Biden. The witness, Michael Gableman, admitted that he had no experience with election law when the Republican leader of Wisconsin State Assembly picked him in 2020 to lead a taxpayer-funded investigation into the election. So he wasted taxpayers' money to investigate a lie, found no evidence, and concluded that it was a lie anyway. Hey, whatever. Lie is the truth. Lie is the truth. Truth is a lie. Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Don't believe yourself, or believe me, and stop believing your lying eyes, or whatever that say. Stop believing your lying eyes. Believe my explanation instead. Gableman has also admitted that he did not have any understanding of how elections work. Ooh, he doesn't even know how they work. So he investigated. Oh, it's a good thing the entire political party appointed him. Doesn't even know how elections work. I gotta read that link. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's not gonna do anything for me. Its 14th-month inquiry turned into a debacle, costing taxpayers more than $1 million and drawing bipartisan derision. The report he produced alleged illegalities in the Wisconsin election, though Biden's 21,000 vote victory in the state was withstood multiple court challenges and a nonpartisan audit. In his report and his state bar testimony, Gableman dwelled on grant money in Wisconsin. Municipalities received from the Civic Center, Tech, and Civic Life, funded by Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg. Has nothing to do with anything. They don't count votes. They just get people to vote, get people to the polls. That's all. They don't fucking rig the election. Getting people to vote is not rigging elections. It's simply getting people to vote, which is their right. Why can't you do that? Apparently, it's illegal now in Wisconsin to advocate people vote. Ooh. So evil. I can't believe it. Mark Zuckerberg put money behind voter registration pushes. What an evil man. What the hell? The money was intended to facilitate voting among the COVID-19 pandemic. Much of it went to Wisconsin's 5 biggest cities, often referred to as the Zuckerberg 5. Oh, let's not send it where the people might be voting. Let's send it out to the country. Let's just waste it out there, stuff in mailboxes, and people just throw it away. No, go to the cities where you can actually get votes, where people live. Wow, why would you go to the 5 biggest cities to get votes? Makes no sense. What a conspiracy, getting people to vote. Ah! Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what this guy's angle is. Gableman's report characterizes as a scheme to get Democrats elected. Oh my God, a scheme! A scheme to get somebody to vote for your party! Make it stop! Wow. Called it election bribery. However, the Center for Tech and Civic Life said it awarded grants to all election offices applied, amounting to more than 200 across Wisconsin, large and small. Federal courts have repeatedly ruled that grants did not break the law. Cross-examining Gableman last week in Eastman trial, Duncan Carling, and an attorney representing the California State Bar, asked Gableman if there had been any successful legal challenge to the CTCL grants. Not yet, Gableman. Not yet, as in no, not yet. The answer is no. No, because it can break a law. Getting people to vote is not illegal. Not illegal. I don't know why this is even a thing. Was he aware of any court findings that the Center for Tech and Civic Life grants violate any law? Right, no. Wisconsin voting machines have been manipulated for purposes of fraud. If I had found it, I would put it on my report. Of course, he found nothing wrong, so this Gableman expert was not an expert in anything. It was basically just a defense red herring to just scare up more shit, to confuse morons, basically. Morons get confused with this. They don't think homeless people can vote. Like, morons don't think homeless people should be allowed to vote. That's what morons think. Right. You can only vote if you got money and rich and you got, prove you where you live. I'm like, no, you get to fucking vote because you're a citizen. That's it. You don't have to prove shit. Except that you're a citizen. You're a citizen. That's it. Citizen. Only requirement. 18, you're a citizen. Bunch of other shit. People keep adding. States will ban felons, but no. Most people can just vote. And that's it. They can take away your rights, but you're a felon, typically. Yeah. Anyway, that's my story about John Eastman. Today's Squeal of Fortune candidate. Yeah, it went on too long with my editorializing, but it pisses me off when people think getting people to vote is some kind of radical new idea. My God!
How dare you tell people to go?
People from getting voting information. I'm sorry?
No, I was just like, how dare you tell people to go vote? Stop that.
Yeah. In the 5 most popular states. Our city's in a state. Wow. Why would he do that? I don't know. Maybe sending them all to Pearson would be a waste of time, I think. And teach everybody there to read first. Sorry. All right, your story.
All right, in some culture news, we're talking about the U.S. some more because the Hollywood writers' strike is fresh with talks with the studios. And it may end
Bill
the
Maher
strike.
Backed out.
Let's hope it doesn't end the strike, though, because I don't think they're going to get what they want. This is from Reuters. Negotiations for the striking Writers Guild of America and Hollywood studios are set to meet again on Thursday to try to resolve a nearly 5-month standoff that has disrupted film and television production. The WGA and the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, AMPTP, which represents Walt Disney, Netflix, and other media companies, held talks for the first time in about a month on Wednesday. Early on Wednesday evening, the two sides issued a joint statement saying simply, the WGA and AMPTP met for the bargaining today and will meet again tomorrow. To help spark a deal, Wednesday's meeting was attended by the Disney CEO Bob Iger, the Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, Comcast NBC Universal Studio Group Chairman Donna Langley, and Warner Bros. Discovery CEO David Zaslav, according to the source close to the studios. People in the room described the session as encouraging, the sources said, and for the 4 executives were expected to return to talks on Thursday. CNBC, citing people close to the negotiations, said writers and producers were near an agreement and hoped to reach a deal on Thursday. But if a deal is not reached, the strike could last to the end of the year, CNBC reported. The WGA wanted a strike in May after negotiations reached an impasse over compensation, minimum staffing of writers' rooms, and the role of artificial intelligence, among other issues. The SAG-AFTRA Actors Union called a work stoppage in July, putting Hollywood in the midst of 2 simultaneous strikes for the first time in 63 years. No talks are currently scheduled between the actors and the studios. I think that's probably next on the list. In more WGA strike news, of course, you had Drew Barrymore starting her show up again and then stopping it again because everyone started yelling at her for being a scab. So I think the strike is still really strong. Nobody's immoral. Their morale hasn't been dropped down to 0 yet. They're still really going strong. So if they don't get what they want now, they're gonna just keep going.
Yeah, and you've got some people supporting him, like John Oliver, who's not making any money because his show's not on the air, but he's like channeling money to the strike fund somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Bill Maher backs out, Drew Barrymore backs out with their phony, lame excuses of, that was greedy. Got it. I was totally greedy, and totally greedy. And they really don't have an excuse. And basically, anybody who was ever in either one of those unions has an excuse to never go on either one of their shows again. And it's like, we're getting some B-level guests again. We're getting all Republicans again, because they don't support. My favorite one yesterday was the UAW strike, right? The United Auto Workers. Tim Scott, the South Carolina senator is running for president. He's like, well, if I was president, I'd fire them auto workers like Ronald Reagan fired the air traffic controllers. They don't work for the government, you stupid shit. They're fucking private industry. You can't fire people. You're the president, not the fucking CEO of General Motors. And they can't fire them either. They have a contract, moron. This guy's running for president. Holy fucking shit. What a fucked up country we have. He'll probably win. Who knows, right? He's a black Republican. That's all they really want. He's black. Look at him. Yeah, he's smart as a whip. But you don't want a whip to be president either. Anyway, whips aren't smart, by the way. They just lay there and can't think. They're inanimate objects. So, yeah, that blew me away. An actual grown man, a senator in the United States, thinks that the president can fire workers at General Motors. And people vote. People that vote for him think that too. They think that too. They think the president can fire workers at General Motors. Anyway, what day is it in history today? Now we're getting on with it's Stupid Thursday, maybe. Where all the stupid people are doing stupid things.
It's Angry Thursday.
Angry Thursday? Oh, yeah, well, I'm angry. Not angry. All right, this ain't history. And 19 BCE, Roman poet Virgil, that's his name, Virgil. So you can make up your fishing jokes there. Best known for his national epic, the Aeneid, died. Actually, no, he died in this day in 19 BCE. Good record keeping there for Rome. 1435, the French Kingdom, the Treaty of Arras was signed, ending the long quarrel between Duke Philip of Burgundy and King Charles VII. That is the King Charles VII of France, not England. They're only on King Charles III. 1840, while experimenting with garlic acid, a chemical he was informed would increase the sensitivity of prepared paper, William Henry Fox Talbot, well, he's rich with a name like that. William Henry Fox Talbot discovered that acid can be used to develop the latent image on paper, leading to the revolution in photography. So, 1840, the birth of looking at pictures. And 1867, Henry L. Stimson, an American statesman who exercised a strong influence on U.S. foreign policy in the 1930s and 1940s and served in the administrations of 5 presidents between 1911 and 1945. Well, he was born in this day. In 1867, man, he must have been old in 1945. The Bank of England dropped the gold standard, and the pound sterling promptly lost 20% of its value, undermining the solvency of countries in Europe and South America on this date in 1931. It was their cure for the Depression. In 1837, English writer J.R.R. Tolkien, we know as the writer of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Well, The Hobbit was published on this day in 1937. 1950 is the birthday of Bill Murray, not his brother Brill, not a very famous person. Bill Murray's birthday today. He's born in 1950. We know who Bill Murray is. Ghostbusters, Caddyshack, all the fun stuff. Groundhog Day. 1957. It was the American TV series Perry Mason debuted. It's a mystery series written by Earl Stanley Garland. Debuted and became hugely popular, especially noted for Raymond Burr's portrayal of the title character. But they have a picture of the author here. 1972, Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos imposed martial law in the Philippines, becoming a period of harsh authoritarian rule. So he got very unpopular very fast and never got his popularity back. 1980, Belize gained its independence from the United Kingdom, so Belize has only been a country since 1981. Happy birthday, Belize. In 2001, the stock market trade in the United States, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, posted its largest weekly loss, 14.3% since the Great Depression. Just a mere coincidence that it was during a Republican administration. I'm totally shocked. The American band Green Day released its iconic album American Idiot, and which later won the Grammy Award for the best rock album and adapted into a rock opera. And this date in 2004, American Idiot was put on the market. It's already been 19 years. Hardly seems possible. In 2013, Al-Shabaab militants launched a terrorist attack in the Westgate shopping center in Nairobi, which ended 3 days later, left more than 65 people dead, including Ghanaian poet and novelist Kofi Awanor. And the featured event this day in history is Joseph Smith's Vision of Moroni. According to this date in 1823, according to the Church of Latter-day Saints, Moroni was the angel of the resurrected being who appeared to Joseph Smith on this day in 1823 and instructed him to restore God's church on earth. It's also the first day of autumn today. Also, birthdays today. Faith Hill was born in 1967, so she's 56 years old. 56, she's 56. Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister of Abe, I think that's how it's pronounced. Shinzo Abe, Prime Minister of Japan, was born this day in 1954. We did Bill Murray. Stephen King's birthday today. So, 1947, Stephen King was born. He seems older, but man, he's still not even 70. So, Leonard Cohen. No, he is 70. Sorry, I can't do math. He's 76. All right, Leonard Cohen, birthday today. Canadian musician and author, was born in 1934. The late, great Leonard Cohen. Our feature biography is the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, another Charles, who was born on February 24th, 1500, but died September 21st, 1558 in Yuste, Spain. And what else day is it today? Today is National Pecan Cookie Day. It is National Pawpaw Day. If you don't know what pawpaw is, it's a little fruit of some sort. You want me to tell you what pawpaw is? National New York Day. It's also National Get Ready and National Chai Day.
I love me some chai.
Yeah. And National Pawpaw is a forgotten American fruit. Creamy mango banana flavored pawpaw, and I don't have any good pictures of it. It looks like a little green grape that tastes like a mango. So despite their tropical taste and appearance, many pawpaws grow native in the United States with over 60 varieties of pawpaw to choose from. The fruit's character changes slightly with each one. Okay, so I don't know. Never heard of them. It's National Pawpaw Day. I guess that's why they came up with a day to tell you about it. Make you aware of it. That's it for today on Be Ready Day, which I was not ready.
All right. Well, this has been Allison here. This is the end of our show. Our quick news show here.
Yeah,
we'll talk about the pirates tomorrow, I think. I just found out about some pirates in San Francisco.
Oh wow! Okay.
The chat just told me about some pirates, but
wow. Pirates.
After this, I will be doing some qigong or tai chi, whatever you want to call it. After I finish editing this episode, and we will see you tomorrow for some more news.
And this is Roger from the United States, getting ready for watch the sun come up on the first day of autumn. It is September 21st. 2023 edition of Before Coffee. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notify buttons and follow our other channels, Toxic Alley, History of Gravy, and Scratchy Old Records.